Everyone, this is Chris Ashley. It is so great to be back here with you. I'm really excited to dive into tonight's program. It is part 2 from last week. So if you haven't listened to last week's episode yet, go ahead and listen to that one first. This one is going to make a whole lot more sense, and they really build on top of each other with the exercises that we did last week, the exercises we're going to do tonight. So yeah, if you haven't listened to it, go check it out. So really quick before we just really start into this, I just want to do a couple housekeeping things. So the first thing is head over to changeyourmindtochangeyourreality.com. So once you're there, you're going to have the option to sign up for my newsletter. And once you do, you'll get to download my free PDF guide that I've created for you. And tonight's episode and last week's episode are the very best times to download that free PDF guide because they go hand in hand. It goes hand in hand with exactly what we're talking about. So this guide is going to help you create, design, manifest your dream life, know exactly how to get it, and get started doing it in as little as a week. So go check it out, changeyourmindtochangeyourreality.com. And I'm not going to spam you. You might get an occasional email like, hey, my book is available for pre-order, go buy it. Or, you know, here's a discount on some one-on-one coaching, things like that every once in a while, but I will not spam you. It's just me. I don't have a team out here like doing my marketing for me. So yeah, I've poured a lot of heart into that guide. Go check it out. I think it's going to really help you. I've created it to help a lot of people. So yeah, I'm excited. And let's see, I'm going to do a little bit of a recap on last week. But again, if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. Oh yeah, and plug for my book. So my book, Change Your Mind to Change Your Reality, How Shifting Your Thinking Can Unlock Your Health, Your Relationships, and Your Peace of Mind, is going to be out probably end of 2022. I'm currently working with an editor. I just got my developmental edits back earlier this week. I've been just writing away. It's been a really fun process to co-create with an editor like that. So I'm really excited about that. So keep an ear out. All right, let's get into it. So last time I had you divide your life into 7 categories. And this is an exercise I do all the time with my private clients, by the way, and it's one of my favorite exercises to do with my private clients. So I'm really excited to be recording this video for you tonight. Okay, so the 7 domains of your life are career. And if you're not working, this could be projects you do around the house. If you're in school, it could be about school. Romance is anything having to do with your romantic life, your romantic partner. Relationships is any relationship that's not romantic. So that could be with friends, with families, with coworkers, with your neighbors, with the public, if you're public facing, anything like that. Leisure is the next one. So this is how you spend your free time, how you spend your free money, your hobbies, fun and recreation, things you love to do. Health is the next one. So this could be physical health, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, however it resonates with you, whatever it means to you, then that's perfect. Personal growth is the next one. And if you've been following me long enough, you know that this one is so important to me. I am a bookworm. I digest about a book a week, and I have for the last 20 years. I love finding new things that expand my mind wide open. So I love anything metaphysical, quantum physics, ancient archaeology, astronaut theory, sacred geometry, biohacking, self-help, spirituality, anything like that. Like I'm on it, I'm there, like that's my jam. So, you know, it could be something like, it could be like you meditate a lot or you read a lot or whatever it is that you listed out. You know, personal growth is so important. We are put here on this planet to have experiences so we can bring those experiences back to source. We're here to learn how to use the law of attraction, which we're going to talk about today a little bit more. And we've talked about that in past episodes. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go listen to past episodes. And we are here to learn and grow, right? Earth is a school. We are here to learn the lessons we're meant to learn. So then once we level up, once we pass this grade, we go on to another school in another planet, another dimension, as another being, whatever it is. You know, maybe something I can't even describe from this 3D earthly place. But, and by the way, that's not to say like, if you fail this lesson, like you fail everything. Like No, everyone's on their own time, their own path, their own journey, coming from source, ascending the ladder back to source with all that information, all that experience that you have to share. So everyone's on their own time. If you quote unquote fail a lesson, which is like the wrong terminology to use, like no one fails. But you just repeat it in similar circumstances on this earthly plane again. You know, there's some souls that have been here for many, many lifetimes. There's some that have been here for one, just passing through, breezing by, and no one's better or worse than the other. And there is no such thing as that comparison anyway, because we're all pieces of the same. We're all pieces of source. We are all connected to each other. There's just this illusion of separation, thanks to our ego and just being in this earthly body right now. Okay, so last time I had you rate each, tangibles was the last one. Sorry, number 7 is tangibles. So tangibles, anything you can touch, right? Kinesthetic, your house, your car, your computer, your pet dog, whatever it is. So, okay, so last time I had you rate each of these areas on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being this is the absolute best this area could ever be. You are living your dream life in this specific area of your life, this specific domain. You cannot imagine things any better. Like, it's perfect. Let's not even touch it. 1 being like, okay, I am at rock bottom. There's only up to go from here. Things are miserable. They're horrible. They're terrible. And whatever they are, by the way, I was just talking to a client about this morning. Whatever they are, like, there's no judgment. If you rated something a 2 or if you rated something a 9, like, there is no judgment. Nothing is good or bad or right or wrong. We're doing this so you can have a baseline, right? So then when you get those numbers up to a 10, you can look back and see how far you've come. And also just to kind of like take stock of where you are, because it's not that often that we just pause and take stock of our life in that kind of way and really like look at each individual aspect of our lives and be like, okay, where am I right now? And then once you know where you are, then it's so much easier to figure out where you want to go. And a whole part of this exercise, I keep like hitting the table, which is why the camera's doing that, because I'm excited. So the whole point of doing this exercise is to figure out what you don't even know that you want, right? You don't know what you don't know until you know. So there's another journaling exercise I use for like the things you want for sure. But this one is like going to be a big sweeping picture of your life so that you can figure out exactly where you want to go, exactly what you want. Because so many people are discontent with the life that they have right now, but they don't know what they want. They don't know what they need in their life to rate it a 10 out of 10. So this exercise is really important to get that clarity, to figure out your vision. And then once you've got that, that's the hard part, figuring it out. Then piece of cake, I'm going to teach you exactly how to get to that 10 out of 10 spot. Okay, so last time you rated each area, and then I also, for homework, had you list out under each area what you would want in your life to make it a 10 out of 10. So you should have those lists. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, stop this episode, go listen to the last one. And if you listen to the last one and you don't have your list, pause this episode, write out your list, because we're going to need those moving forward. All right, so before we dive into what's next, what I call our manifest memoir, I want to talk about success. So what makes a person successful? And I'm sure everyone has their own definition of success, but I'll tell you mine, and it'll be the one we'll use for the purpose of this exercise. So truly successful, truly rich people can rate each of those 7 areas a 10 out of 10. So when you have a sense of purpose, when you have passion, when you have love in your life, when you have health, when you have vitality, when you care about people and people care about you, when you do things that bring your soul joy every day, when you have a life you really love living, that's real wealth. That is real success. And that's what we're going for. And this is attainable to you no matter what your current life situation is right now, no matter what your current circumstances are. And We might all know people who are really wealthy in one area of their life, right? Maybe they have a lot of tangibles. They have a lot of money in the bank. They have a big house. They drive the fancy car, but they might be bankrupt in other areas of their life. Maybe they are bankrupt in their health or their relationships or their romantic life. So truly successful people, and by the way, that's why it's impossible to judge anyone. Okay, so truly successful people don't let fear, doubt, worry, insecurities, envy, or other low vibration emotions get in the way of living a life that they would truly love having. They don't compare themselves to others. They don't make choices from a place of fear either. And most people in the world only live a fraction of the life that they're capable of living. They wake up stressed and worried rather than passionate and excited. They stay close to their comfort zone, right? They think things are pretty good. Why rock the boat? So they don't expand. They don't move that fence line of their comfort zone out any farther. And the thing with the comfort zone is, I'm sure you've heard people say this, the comfort zone is where dreams go to die, right? Outside of the comfort zone is where your dreams live. That's where your dream life lives. So it's so important to get out of your comfort zone. Push yourself to do things that you're scared of. Like my mentor, Mary Morrissey says, do it afraid. You might be afraid, do it anyway. So yeah, courage starts the mind. And that's exactly, by the way, why most people don't follow their dreams, why people don't live a life that they would love living, because they're afraid. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of other people's opinions. I think it was Napoleon Hill said that opinions are the cheapest commodities on earth. 500 people could have 500 different opinions. And if you listen to them all, you'd let yourself get swayed in 500 different directions and you never get anything done. Paralyzing, right? Don't care what people think. Do not care what people think. Some people will have very strong opinions of you. They've never even met you. They know nothing about you. They haven't talked to you ever. But if they see that you're successful or you have something they want, they'll make up reasons why you cheated or you did something bad to get there. These people, it's just their fear coming out. Don't listen to other people's opinions at all. Okay. So courage starts in your mind. Change your mind to change your reality, like my book is called, and your life will totally transform before your very eyes. All right, so now we're going to work on our manifest memoir. So this is a big sweeping image of what your life would look like, rated a 10 out of 10. So this is not like some little goal you have. It's not like I'm going to run a marathon next month, or I'm going to clean out my garage or whatever. That's a goal. And by the way, I have another journaling technique I'll teach you later on that's really good for those kind of like one-off little things, like those things you want, those little day-to-day manifestations. This is like your dream life. So like, give it your all. This is your dream life. Take it seriously. Okay. So let's see, as you're writing, it's really important. John Cage had the 10 rules for teachers and students. I love that. So I used to run a yoga teacher training and I would have my trainees read this. And one of the rules for teachers and students is don't create and analyze at the same time. They're different processes. So when you're analyzing what you're writing, when you're judging, when ego steps in and says like, no, you can't have that, or that's unrealistic, or you don't have the right education for that, or you don't have the right experience for that, or like, that'll never happen for you, it cuts off your flow. So suspend your disbelief. Forget all that crap that ego's saying. Like, that's just ego's like last stand trying to like keep you safe, right? Ego tries to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to leave your comfort zone. And ego is great if you are trying to not get hit by a car or like drive off a cliff or whatever. Ego's amazing for that, but ego is not good for matters of the heart. So turn off the ego, suspend your disbelief. This is what would need to happen in order for you to rate each area of your life a 10 out of 10. And it doesn't matter what your current circumstance is. It doesn't matter how it's going to happen. Forget about the how right now. That is not up to you to decide. That is up to the universe to decide. And the universe will bring it to you in ways that you couldn't have even imagined anyway, right? Doors will appear and open where there weren't even doors. People will appear in your life to help you along the path. You know, everything you need will appear for you. Like the tools that you need will appear as you keep going. So don't worry about how it's going to happen. Don't worry about your circumstances right now. Forget all of that. Just get it out of your head. Get it out of your mind. What would you need in your life right now in each of those 7 domains to rate your life a 10 out of 10? That's what we're focusing on. Okay, so we have those lists. And now that I've really gone into more depth explaining that, maybe you're refining your list a little bit. So now we're going to work on our manifest memoir. So I want you to pretend it's sometime off in the future between 1 and 3 years. So you want it to be a realistic time frame for you. Like if we're saying like all of this is going to come true in a month and you can't get yourself to believe that, then it's not going to work for you. So if hearing like, okay, this is going to happen like 1 to 3 years off in the future, like 2 years off in the future, like, yes, I believe that, then that's what you do. But we also don't want to make it too far off in the future because we're going to manifest it, right? We don't want you to wait too long to get your dream life. All right, so imagine it's 1 to 3 years in the future. And you have just run into a friend that you haven't seen in that amount of time, in 1 to 3 years. So you're going to tell your life story like you're catching up this old friend. And you're always going to start with the words, I am so grateful that ... So start to add in all of the details from those lists that you made. And you really want to paint the picture of what your dream life looks like. Specificity is so important. The universe works on specificity. If you say something like, I want more money or I want a raise, the universe doesn't know what to do with that. First of all, it's entirely subjective. Second of all, the universe can't send you a check for a raise or for more money, but it can send you a check for $100,000. It can send you a check for $1 million. So get really, really specific. Things like saying you want to travel a lot are really vague too. Like you're going to get results, but it might not be the results that you wanted, and maybe you could get better results. So instead, you know, let's say you said, I want to travel to Paris with my partner. So when you write your manifest memoir, maybe you say, my partner and I take a trip to Paris this year. Or you could even say took a trip to Paris this year and make it in the past tense, right? Because you're catching up your friend. My friend, we just don't want to say like it's off in the future. You don't want to say it's going to happen or I want it to happen, right? That implies that it hasn't happened yet. Remember, you're catching your friend up on your dream life. So, and your life is a 10 out of 10 right now. This is the life you're journaling about. So you might say something like, my gosh, my partner and I took a trip to Paris and it was amazing. We woke up in the mornings and we got croissants and we got espressos and we just sat at an outdoor cafe and people watched, and all the women and the fashion and everyone is just so beautiful and well put together. And the streets are magical, and Paris has this smell. Like, I don't know if you've noticed that. I notice it every time I go there. It has this like amazing smell. The whole city has this smell. I like can't even describe it. It's like some kind of perfume or something. There's just magic in the air. And we walked 3 hours this one day down the Champs-Élysées to the Arc de Triomphe, down to the Eiffel Tower. And then we took a romantic boat ride along the Seine at night on a little dinner cruise. And it was just the most amazing trip I've ever taken. So do you see how that's a little bit of a different energy than just saying, I traveled to Paris with my partner this year? So you want to really make your vision come alive. I always think about Mary Poppins, how she can like hop into paintings. It's that kind of idea. Paint the picture so clearly that you can just step into it. So questions to ask yourself, does this vision make you feel alive? Does it make you feel excited? Do you get those goosebumps on your arms or that whole body buzzing sensation? That's the feeling you're going for. That is the sensation. That is a sign that you are on the path. You're writing down what will really give you a 10 out of 10 in each area. So write this all out. Start with, I am so grateful that, and write out the story of your life as if you're telling it to a friend you haven't seen in 1 to 3 years. And then once you have that, I want you to go back in and add in some emotional aspects. So emotion is really important for putting you on the frequency of your dream or whatever you want, whatever you're trying to manifest, right? We've talked about this before in past episodes, but you want to put yourself on the frequency of your dream life, and your dream life doesn't exist on the frequency that you exist at right now. It's like changing the channel on the TV. If you're watching History Channel, no matter how many times you hope for Animal Planet's not going to come on until you pick up the remote and change the channel. So we have to change the channel in our heads. We have to put ourselves on that new frequency of the life that we would love having. And emotion also helps you to feel it like it's real right now. And that's how we call everything in from the universe, right? By putting ourselves in that emotion, imagining it's happening right now, feeling gratitude for it happening right now. It's like fake it till you make it. Act like you have it already. So as we're thinking about adding emotion in, and you can go back in and kind of add these bits of emotion in the Paris example, maybe you say something like, right when we get to the Eiffel Tower, dusk hits, and just then the lights just light up and the whole thing is just dazzling in front of us, and I get goosebumps down my arms. And then right then my partner and I are both just watching it. He reaches over and he just grabs my hand, and I am just floating on air. I am just the happiest I've ever been. This is the moment my heart is singing. I know I've made it. I know I am so in love with my life. So you can add something like that in, and then, go through your manifest memoir again, add in emotion, add in any other details that you might have left out, and think about how joyful and alive and free and just fabulous you're going to feel when you have all of these things in every category, where you can rate your entire life a 10 out of 10. Feel that emotion. How would you feel? And then put that onto your paper. Make it so vivid that you can just step inside of the scene. And then read this manifest memoir every night. I'm going to end this right now, but next week we'll pick up on what to do next. And so this is kind of part 2 out of 3. It's been such a pleasure. I'm really enjoying making these videos. They sounded so intimidating to me at first, but I really love helping people. I love sharing all of this. I'm so passionate about it. I feel so blessed to have been gifted a life coach training with Mary Morrissey, where I got a lot of this information. And, I'm so inspired by people like Alan Cohen and Greg Braden. And what other books? The 4 Agreements, all of these amazing teachers. And I'm just so grateful for them that they lit the pathway before. And I'm so grateful that I get to share it with all of you as well. And, I do think this is kind of interesting. So I have a TikTok where I make smaller little 3-minute videos for TikTok and Instagram. And I just had someone comment last week, how could you be a life coach? You're so young. You must be in your late 20s, which is amazing because I'm in my late 30s. So I was like, ooh, compliment, cool. But, I've been on this path for 20 years. I had an awakening when I was 17, and this has been my life's mission, my purpose, the healing and growing and learning for the last 20 years. And, I think that the younger generations are waking up. I think humanity is waking up. I think we are in the middle of the biggest awakening humanity has had in recent history since Atlantis times. We're in the midst of a consciousness shift, and the younger generations get it. They're awakening way faster than the older ones are. And if I can reach more of the younger generation and help them awaken too, and help them, find their purpose and help to lift humanity up, then hey, that's my life purpose. We're here to lift each other up. What's that saying, rising tides lift all ships. I love that so much. So yeah, all that is to say thank you for listening, for being here, for being a part of the community, for your likes, for your subscribes, for your comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, head over to changeyourmind@changeyourreality.com to download my free PDF guide. It goes really, really well with this episode, with next week's episode, with last week's episode. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a beautiful rest